I should be sharing the meeting minutes and recording now. If you'd like to add yourself as an attendee, go ahead and feel free. You should have at least suggestion rights. I can also maybe in the chat, I can pop the link to the notes. There we go. The first thing that I wanted to do besides let people introduce themselves was talk about some of our new members. So just today we had Marvin Roosh, I think, is join us as just an organization member. As a reminder, you can join to be part of the kgateway organization, and this lets you do things like kick off CI on PRs if you have at least, I believe it's 5 pull requests merged into the code base. And then, so welcome, Marvin. Thanks for joining us. And then the other person, Kristen briefly introduced herself, but she was also nominated to be a docs maintainer because she's been contributing quite a bit to the documentation over the past several months. So I wanted to bring this up. There's a link to her nomination PR. It already has some approvals. Just in case you guys are wondering, I had to review myself our maintainer kind of guidance in the community repo, but basically to be a maintainer, you have to meet like a certain threshold of, like 20 plus PRs merged in, as well as some that are reviewed, agreed to the different kind of responsibilities of being a maintainer. But then also there's a requirement, even after getting the approvals, that there's kind of like a 1 week waiting period after this nomination. So it hasn't been quite a week, or you can have it brought up at a community meeting like today. And as long as there are no objections, we can go ahead and merge in Kristen's nomination. So I thought that I would bring that up and then just kind of briefly open the floor if anyone has any questions about this particular nomination, how maintainer nominations work in general, or anything to say, or any objections or anything like that. So I'll open the floor if anyone wants to speak. I've got a rocket emoji, so that's always good. All right, so we'll consider that then as no objections, and I'll go ahead and merge in Kristen after this community meeting. If anyone has anything or follow-up that, if I didn't give you enough time, just message me either in the CNCF Slack or here, and we'll go ahead and move on. Alrighty, so the next order on our agenda is to review any action items from the previous meeting. There was one action item that was switching the bleeding edge per PR releases to the 2.4 main release branch. I wanted to follow up in case. Does anyone have any further context on this, on whether this was done? I didn't check, actually.
I did it in the code, and it should be done in the docs, but I'll check right now.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you, Chandler. All right, so that's done. Great. The other thing that we've talked about on previous calls is KubeCon. So as many of you know, that will be in the fall. The CFPs for the main stage closed this past Sunday, and I know several people submitted projects related to kgateway, so I just wanted to say thank you and also wish people best of luck on getting those selected. I also wanted to give a reminder that the co-location kind of like follow-up events kind of after the main day have been announced. And so you can see a list here. There's a lot of interesting projects or project areas like Agentics Day, ArgoCon. I know some people are also working on kgateway related proposals for some of these as well. The colos can be a great opportunity to present kind of a very targeted, integrated perspective on, like more than one project. And so if you're working on those, or if you need any encouragement or anything, definitely reach out to the community and feel free, and best of luck to people preparing that. These are not due until, I believe it's like June 21st or so. Yeah, okay, yeah, I did write it down. So just kind of a friendly reminder on that. And then another kind of general community awareness thing is the Linux Foundation mentorships. Many of us have participated in that, both as mentors and mentees. So the term 1 is just coming to an end now. And so I wanted to give shout outs to all of our mentors. I think a lot of you guys are actually on the call. I think Tim and Seth and Omar and Nina, and myself. My apologies if I'm missing anyone else who served as a mentor, but thank you for volunteering your time. And then as well as to our mentees, a lot of them, did a lot of cool stuff, merged in fixes, added features, documented integration guides with other projects. I think Lahiru, I believe, participated in this, as well as Lhasa that I worked with, and probably some other people that I'm forgetting. So yeah, just kind of wanted to do that. Be on the lookout for some blogs that are going to be coming out this upcoming week that summarize their experiences and journeys. I've read a couple of them, so that's always cool to see. And term 2, the applications are closed. So maybe some of our frenzy of activity and our open source contributions to the docs will simmer down a little bit because of the application closing, but we'll be selecting those term 2 mentees and moving forward with them probably like next week sometime. So thank you to everyone who has been involved in that process and submitted applications. I'm going to pause right now just to see if anyone had any follow-up from either of these action items or any other comments or questions or shout outs you'd like to give.
Actually, hey, Art, sorry, I'm playing a little catch up here. What do we, so for term 2, sounds like we're still investing in LFX. Are we doing a couple projects around that area too?
So for term 2, I'm only aware of one project that Nina and I are mentoring on. It's kind of for security, JAW, OIDC provider integration docs. So I know that we have that one. I'm not sure if there's another project for term 2. That said, it's also summertime, and I know a lot of people are kind of in and out during the summer. So even if you're not having a project in term 2 and you'd like to do one in the future, I think that they'll have a term 3 in the fall. And then another thing that we had talked about was we're not really sure how CNCF promotes these, or like whether they even promote the mentorship program in general. And so we were talking about just kind of like an action item for ourselves and our own kgateway community is that whenever, if we want to do these projects again, we could also, share it more broadly with our own networks, maybe get some of our former mentees to share it with theirs, go back to some of our alma maters and universities, and just kind of maybe make people aware of it, just because we're not sure how broadly it's known in the greater community, so to speak, if that makes sense. But yeah, are you interested in doing another project, Tim, by chance?
Absolutely not. No, no, I appreciate all the work too, Lahiro. Obviously, you crushed it, man. I appreciate all the hard work there. No, I was just curious because I'm playing a little catch up.
Yeah. No, it's a good question. Anything else? Alrighty, we will move on then for new topics to this meeting. So the first one is actually related to the docs. Not to put you on the spot, Kristen, but I thought I'd give you the chance. If you want to talk to the new Hextra theme update, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I can kind of share it, but I thought I'd see since you worked a lot on this.
Yeah, we were really trying to upgrade Hugo and Hextra themes so that way we could get some cool features that Hextra offers, particularly around LLMs.txt and the copy as markdown button, stuff like that to try and help agents with the documentation set.
Yeah, so I personally think it looks pretty good. Like Kristen mentioned, lots of new features, a little bit more consistency in terms of like if you're on the blog and you open something that like you'll now have like light and dark mode. I'm not sure if it's been merged yet, but
I have some fixes for the dark mode.
Yeah, but we've got like some features like that. The one in particular that she called out, the copy as markdown button, might be useful if you're using the docs with agents. You can even open it in like the web versions of some of the more popular agents. There's a lot of other things like cards are getting automatically generated now so that we don't have to remember to add them. In terms of the contribution process to the docs, this is pretty much the same. It's still in the kgateway.dev repo, but I did want to call out that if you were trying to make any theme, like appearance CSS changes or add Hugo specific shortcodes or stuff like that, we now have a shared repo that we're using across a lot of other open source projects that use a similar doc theme. So it's kind of like our own version of Hextra, where we can add stuff, just things like, if, for example, Agent Gateway is a doc set that uses it and it has a chatbot integration. So that will probably be coming next to kgateway. And we already have the plumbing now since we have like this shared theme repo basically. So if you needed to make changes to the theme itself, this is now in this repo for now. Yeah, I don't know. Any questions or other thoughts on the docs update? Cool. Well, another new topic, I just kind of went through some of our recently merged things in the kgateway repo. Just thought I'd give it a shout out here in case people are trying to adopt the latest and greatest. And so we had a lot of things merge in recently. Some of the ones that stood out to me were that you can now have like an admin bind address. Like if you were like debugging and wanted to set a custom external one, there's now configurable filter stages for xproc. There were some fixes for backend config policy merge semantics. I'm sure there's a lot of other new features that have come out. I don't know if anyone has any others that they're aware of that they think might be nice just to highlight today in the community meeting. Okay, cool. And then I will also now just turn it open. If anyone, here on the call has any sort of topic, anything under the sun about kgateway that you'd like to talk about, feel free to, unmute and speak up. Alrighty. Well, we're a quiet bunch today. That's fine. We always like to shout out new community contributions. So since the last time that we had this call, we had Max Kilzaya contribute a fix for XDS TLS environment variable mismatch in Helm. So thank you for that. We had a GitHub user handle Van Shiz do input files into translator tests. So always nice that people are caring about tests in general. And then we had doc fixes, some new ones from these two users in particular, Invitha and Harkurat. I believe both of them had submitted to the Linux Foundation mentorship program. We have a lot of other PRs also from kind of various people just trying to kind of dip their toes in the project. So I know Kristen and I have been going through some of those, so we might have a new crop of first-time contributors for the next meeting, which is in 2 weeks. And speaking of that next meeting, we also like to close by assigning the host. And so if you'd like to run this meeting, you can speak up. Otherwise, I might just start assigning people. Alrighty, well, it doesn't seem like we have anyone leaping on it. It looks like Chandler hosted last time, then Denian, then Andy, then Seth. Tim, would you like to host? Will you be here June, what is it, 16th?
I don't think he's on anymore.
How did he drop? Interesting. Do we have anyone else want to volunteer to host?
I guess I can host.
All right, I'll put you down, Andy. And in the meantime, I'll start a group chat between you, Tim, and me and see if I can guilt him into it. How does that sound? Alrighty, anything else from anyone on the call?
I think I can host next time.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. All right, well, I won't keep you guys any longer than we have to. Thank you for joining us for our community meeting in K-Gateway, and best of luck in all your CNCF adventures throughout the rest of this week. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.